Also, story segment tonight, as we mentioned in the last segment, Herman Cain rising in the polls, primarily because he's a straight-talking guy. On CNN yesterday, Mr. Cain analyzed why the vast majority of black Americans always vote Democratic.
Many African Americans have been brainwashed into not being open-minded, not even considering a conservative point of view. I have received some of that same vitriol simply because I am running for the Republican nomination as a conservative. So it's just brainwashing and people not being open-minded, pure and simple.
Now, Mr. Cain's opinion does have backup. In the year 2000, blacks voted 90% for Al Gore. 2004, they voted 88% for John Kerry. 2008, they voted 95% for Barack Obama. With us now, Jamu Green, Fox News contributor. So we were saying, you were talking before the segment began, that you're one of these brainwashed people. That you would never vote for a Republican, right?
No, that's actually not true. I believe
Have you ever voted for a Republican?
Not yet, but I think diversity of opinion amongst black leaders at the national level is absolutely important, and it's going to lead to progress. I think that it's great that, like President Obama, Herman Cain has a Only in America story, but his comments are not only insulting, they are offensive, they are dishonest. He basically said that the majority of African Americans in this country can't think for ourselves, that we don't think for ourselves. Let's take it one by one. The data backs up Cain. When you have that kind of a plurality, 90, 88, 95, over a 12-year period, I don't think Herman Cain is wrong. Now, brainwash is an opinion. That's an opinion. Here's what the data backs up, that African Americans vote for Democrats overwhelmingly because of policies, because of the union impact on helping blacks into the middle class, because of the education programs that come from the federal government, correct? Because of a commitment to sustaining and fighting for working people. A commitment to fight the war on poverty doesn't mean that you have to fight against people who are poor. Let me play devil's advocate here. It's because of these policies
I think everybody
that African Americans vote for Democrats.
I think everybody understands that black Americans vote for the Democrats because of entitlement spending. I think they all have that. But has entitlement spending really worked? If you look at the trillions that have been spent since 1964 in the Great Society programs, the poverty level in African American precincts is down 2–3%. That's all. Unemployment rate under Barack Obama, 17% for black Americans. These policies really haven't worked. So what I think Mr. Cain is saying is that if you would go to the conservative view of self-reliance and depend more on yourself and more on making life work for you by your own hard work and education, rather than waiting for the government to give you something, you'd be better off. Do you see any validity in that philosophy?
Actually, Bill, you're wrong, that these policies have worked. Policies that allowed African Americans to find their way into the middle class, to really fight to achieve the American dream. The 4 million senior citizens alone who were kept out of poverty because of Social Security, you can't deny that number, Bill.
Now, Social Security cuts along both. It's not a racial thing. The expansion of unemployment insurance as we're dealing with the greatest economic crisis in our lifetime, all of these policies, especially now the American Jobs Act that is on the table and how it would affect 1.4 million African Americans who are out of work. I'll submit to you this.
Herman Cain, he's performing. He's done great to build his brand up there, but this conversation that he wants to have right now does no service to a national conversation about race, and it is, at the end of the day,
there are two sides to this story, and you seem to be unwilling to listen to my side, which I think is reflective of Herman Cain's point of view. You're just not on, and he's saying that you're brainwashed, and you're coming across kind of brainwashed to me. I'm submitting the facts to you, and the facts are that there have been tens of, well, I don't know if it's 10 trillion, but it's close, spent on Great Society programs. And the benefit to eliminating black poverty has been 2 or 3%. That doesn't add up. Under President Obama, it's 17% plus unemployment. Not a good performance. Yet you continue to say the same thing over and over and over again. That you support these programs. Wait, Jamuth. That you support these programs despite the massive expenditure that doesn't produce results. That could be brainwashing. I'll give you the last word.
Well, Bill, clearly I think you and Herman Cain are in complete denial when it comes to the impact that these programs have had. You can't draw a straight line to the really unfortunate and overwhelming poverty numbers that we saw come out a few weeks ago to these policies not working. We're dealing with an economic crisis that is greatest than anything we've seen in our lifetime.
The stats were bad even before
the reality is, just because Herman Cain he's a brilliant man, he's a mathematician, but he proves, I think, that nerds can be bigots too, and his statement was
I don't
bigoted.
see it as bigoted. I think he believes what he said, and I don't believe that's bigoted. But we always appreciate you coming in here, Jim. Thank you. Plenty more.